And we are live. Hi, everyone. How are you today? Lisa from South Florida. Welcome to another episode of All Things Health, Healing, and Beyond. I'm glad you are here with us today. And I have a very special guest with me, Mr. Jeffery Combs. Jeff has been my mentor and coach for 8 years, and I am so blessed to have him in my arena for every part of my life. So I want to introduce Jeff. I'm going to read his bio. Jeffery Combs is a renowned author, speaker, and success addiction coach who specializes in separating feelings from the past events in the process called letting go. Jeffery started his business, the Golden Mastermind Seminars, 23 years ago. And since then, he has coached over 12,000 clients and 60,000 one-on-one hours. Jeff has published 5 books, including a #1 Amazon's best-selling list, and has been featured on social media publications, magazines, radio, Fox, ABC, CBS, and Lifetime. Jeff is available for one-on-one coaching and as well as keynote speeches, podcast Zooms, and Facebook Lives. So welcome, Jeff. I am very honored to have you.
Thank you, Lisa. It is my privilege and pleasure to be here with you. You and I have known each other going on 8 years. I have been your coach, friend, mentor, and have watched you absolutely reinvent yourself from mom, nurse, to multiple six-figure income earner and millionaire income earner in the direct sales industry. And I do want to qualify that. Very few people ever achieve that status. And it was a few years ago that you became a $1 million income earner in a direct sales company over the lifetime of that career. So congratulations, Lisa. You have absolutely stood the test of time, stood the gaff, and it's so good to see you that now you're a multipreneur as you own multiple businesses, specifically in quantum healing and giving people insight into what's going on in the world and the universe. So honored to be here with you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you very much. So Jeff, I have with me today one of Jeff's books, The Breakthrough Factor. And this is about letting go. And this is unequivocally a book you should have in your library, and you can get it on Amazon. And Jeff will speak about this book. And this is just one of his many books. And Jeff is going to be speaking about letting go and breaking the emotions that may still be creating the events in our lives that we're ready to release, and being in the moment. And one of the things, Jeff, you have taught me, which I say to myself all the time, I am always letting go. So can you please share with our audience what that means and what you have to say about letting go?
I'd love to, Lisa. Thank you. And you are one of the best students. You would be one of the top 10 students I've ever coached in a 23-year career of taking the context and then the content of what you've received from me. And then you went out and you have put it in your own words in your own forum, and you are teaching letting go skills as well. So letting go is based on a series of events that creates a trauma bond. And so letting go is the ability to separate our feelings from the events that shape them. When we grow up in alcoholic homes, when we grow up being traumatized, violated, when we grow up in angry environments, when we get picked on in the playground, when we get singled out, held back from school, mean girls take advantage of us, or we get sexually abused, all the other situations that happen to us between the time we are conceived and 18 years old, that is what forms our personality. We spend 20,000 meals with a group of people over the bulk of that time, and a lot of that shapes our feelings. So we spend our time in anxiety, fight or flight, and doubt, and that's what creates our addictions. So we hold on to anger, hate, resentment, guilt, shame, abandonment, rejection, overwhelmed feelings, grief, apathy, and pride. And I've assisted you, and then you've assisted many people yourself in understanding this trauma bond. So whoever our perpetrators and violators are, if we don't understand this, if we live in repressed feelings or suppressed feelings and denial, we'll start to recreate these relationships over and over to fulfill that bond of trauma that we hold on to. It'll show up in who we mate, who we date, who we marry. It'll show up in The people that violate us put us in position to validate, justify, and explain ourselves. We'll attract bosses, teammates, soulmates, customers, and clients to fulfill those feelings until one day we wake up and we go, wow, it's time for me to recover. It's time for me to move into sobriety. I'm no longer going to silently suffer and repress or suppress my feelings. The pain is great enough. I'm ready to let go. So letting go is the ability. It's a skill set, and there's a mechanism to it. And we can discuss more the mechanism, because it's a lifetime of practicing it till where it becomes auto-suggestion. And so when you say you're always letting go, you're going to relapse, Lisa, just like I'm going to. But the degree of how long you relapse has been shortened because the skill you've learned in letting go. So you might feel rejected or abandoned, but only for a minute or two, or maybe an hour, or maybe a day, but not a week, not a month, not a year. And you're not going to recreate the relationships to fulfill that bond of trauma, that bond of that we are connected to that keeps us in anxiety, fear, and doubt. So I consider myself one of the world's greatest at teaching people the skill of letting go.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are unequivocally amazing with that. Thank you.
Go ahead. Would you like to ask me another question?
I think that you should be, why don't you talk about just go with letting go?
Right.
Because
Well, here's what letting go means.
especially nowadays with what's going on in the world, to be able to stay centered within our power and to create our sovereignty while the world is spinning around us.
All right, so you used a great word, sovereignty. So a sovereign citizen is someone who can stand alone. Now, there's a whole group of people that are sovereign citizens in different countries in the world, and that's a whole different situation. But being sovereign means that you are able to stand on the ground that you're standing on, and you are you and you are free. So everything that's going on in the outer world doesn't mean it's your inner world. But if your inner world is with the outer world, then you're going to be overwhelmed. And if you're overwhelmed, you're going to avoid, you're going to procrastinate, you're going to get ready, and you'll stuff your feelings with compulsive deading, food, and a whole multitude of situations. But what is significant for you to understand is that you don't have to live like this. And it requires a committed person to become an enlightened soul. So you have all this talent within you, and there's a component of you that knows you're good enough while you live in the doubt of not being good enough. So that doubt is what keeps you avoiding and procrastinating. You know and you don't know, you should and you shouldn't, you're good and you're bad, you're black and you're white. You live in this duality of power and force. And then when you live in a lot of force and you're trying to force yourself, you're trying to make yourself, now you're in fight or flight. And when you grow up in fight or flight, you're going to be a grown-up in fight or flight until you can understand the separation between the feelings and the events. So I was a chronic alcoholic, drug addict, serial cheater, pathological liar, chronic debtor, thug, thief, drug dealer in my 20s. I mean, that's a lot of things that I did to really take myself to rock bottom. At 31 years old, I ended up in a heroin alcohol clinic in a county hospital in a wheelchair where I got clean and sober at 31. I mean, it was a breakthrough moment for me because I was on the precipice of either I get sober or I die. So I had reached the place where the pain is great enough, which is not the way that you want to be able to change. To be able to change is to be able to commit. So as you start the commitment process of change, you're starting to let go. You don't have to understand how to let go until you start to grasp letting go. And letting go is a skill. But the body is going to hold on to a set of feelings to fulfill the feelings that keep us emotionally addicted to those feelings, specifically being overwhelmed. So being overwhelmed is in direct correlation with being unorganized, undisciplined, not having a routine, not having a system, and winging it. And that is what most people do. They get ready to get ready. They stay overwhelmed. They want someone to tell them what to do. Yet their freedom is going to be in telling yourself what to do. And the number one situation you want to tell yourself is you want to tell your ego to let go. Now, your ego is your lower self that keeps you recreating the same set of circumstances and the same set of events to fulfill the feelings of not being good enough. And the payoff is I'm disappointed. So it really requires a man and a woman who's ready to be honest. I mean, it is the rigorous honesty it requires to be honest will be one of the greatest accomplishments you ever accomplish, because it means you can look at your whole family dynamics, not blame anyone, but also understand how you got where you got there. What many people do is they protect their perpetrators and violators, their family members, and they keep going back for more. They go back for breakfast, they go back for lunch, and they go back for dinner, and they stay in these trauma bonds. They stay in these relationships, and they recreate them in work, they recreate them in a business, they recreate them in their personal life to fulfill these feelings of not being good enough. So it really requires a committed person to access consciousness. And then once you access consciousness, you can begin to access enlightenment. But you can't be enlightened until you're conscious. Now, conscious means I understand, I know, I'm aware, I'm in love, I'm in joy, I'm in bliss, I'm on this side of the bridge. And that side of the bridge requires a quality called courage. You have to access courage to overcome your doubt. And so, but courage isn't an emotion. Courage is a quality that you access. So if you're going to leave a job or an organization or a relationship, it's going to require you to call on that courage, because your lower self is going to scream, don't leave me, stay right here. It's comfortable being miserable. Hold on to me, hug me, hold me. Please don't leave me. Don't let go of this trauma bond. I'm so addicted to it. So that's the lower self that goes, I'm confused. I don't know what to do. I know what to do, but I don't know what to do. And so success would contradict our struggle. So when you silently suffer in struggle, you're overwhelmed and overweight. You have a lot of debt. They're all connected because they're all a way to stuff our feelings. Or if you silently sneak alcohol in other situations and pathologically lie to yourself, that's the denial that you'll hold on to recreate the same situation over and over. Now, breaking through is not as difficult as it looks, but there is a discipline to it. So discipline doesn't mean I'm going to discipline you. Discipline means you become a disciple of letting go. And to really master the emotions of letting go requires practice. It's not something you can read a book and get. It's not something that someone can tell you. Now, I've spent 60,000 hours articulating to my clients the mechanism and the skill of letting go, and a few of them actually grasp it. And not only do they grasp it, they begin to live it. Once you begin letting go, then you can let go of being right. You can let go of being in conflict with people. You can let the universe work its plans out while you sit in the middle and watch it. You can produce results while everything else is going on in the world. All the trauma-based mind control that's going on, all the situations that are going on medically, you can practice holistic. All the ships that are stuck in the harbor, you can create your own commerce. How screwed up the world is, your world isn't screwed up. I mean, no one's dating out here. It's so difficult to date. It's not difficult for me. I mean, you change the context of how much you struggle. So one of the keys to this breakthrough is your word choices. Your word choices are going to come from your feelings, and your feelings and your word choices will dictate your action or your inaction. And so when your word choices are filled with kinda, sorta, I guess, and I don't know. Americans insert 3 words, I don't know, in a sentence structure. They insert guess, which means doubt. They use kinda, Kinda, which doesn't mean anything. I kinda took a look at it. You kinda did, or you took a look at it. So kinda negates anything we do. I'd really like to, but, so it's you'd like to or you'll commit to it. So there's a difference. When you're commitment phobic, you'll avoid. When you're commitment conscious, you'll let go. And once you become commitment conscious, you're on the other side of the bridge. Because now, instead of being a starter, you become a finisher. Instead of being a poser, you become a closer. And as you begin to do this, then you brush your teeth in the morning. You make your bed. You stop rebelling against your own success. You have an exercise routine that you follow through on 5 to 7 days a week. You don't eat the dumb shit you used to eat. You detox, you cleanse, you fast, you drink celery juice. All of a sudden, all this sugary these wheat products that you used to eat that would give you IBS, gut issues, SIBO, small intestinal bacterial organisms, the parasites that would hold on to you, the weight that you would hold on to, the men and women begin to show up differently in your life, because now as you begin to live organically, the universe begins to reward you, regardless of what's going on in the fucking world. I mean, the world can be falling apart, but that doesn't mean yours is. So when you are no longer the mind-body connection to the events that created your trauma, your dis-ease, your eczema, your asthma, your psoriasis, your fibromyalgia, all these other body function diseases that are created by the necessity to feel violated. When you're able to let go of these feelings, when you're able to separate your feelings from the events that shape them, you are now no longer the mind-body connection to the events that shape the feelings. So if you're conditioned to go to the tree and cut the switch off the tree so that you can get beaten with it, there's a high probability you're going to contact hay fever and be allergic to grass and dandelions on that walk because of the trauma associated with this about to happen. You'll actually feel released when you're beaten. You'll feel, and then your body's going to recreate that over and over. You're going to find people to be in conflict with, to prove you wrong so you can be right, to justify being a victim, to collect the payoff of being disappointed. But to break this trauma bond, it requires rigorous honesty. It requires effort. It requires guidance. It requires reading. It requires listening. But most importantly, it requires tapping into your inner voice, knowing you're good enough, feeling you deserve to break through. Deserve, a Latin term, da servie, day of service. Deserving is not serving. Deserving is service. And then when you add value, when you scale the value ladder, you don't raise your prices, you raise your value. And as you change your values, if you improve your values, you're going to attract your reality, people and situations that will fulfill a different cause, meaning, and purpose. When your purpose is just to get by, the universe will reward you. When your focus is not to make a mistake and not get in trouble, then you're going to attract your reality, the very situation you seek to avoid. And you're also going to avoid not to get in trouble because that's your focus. But when your focus is in healing, recovery, sobriety, and consciousness, you're going to attract a different charisma, a different energy. A different person is going to show up organically eventually. The soulmate, the teammate, the business opportunity is going to show up because you're open to it. You see it. You're aware of it. It used to go by so fast because you're overwhelmed. You wouldn't see it, but now you see it. It's in slow motion and it's in flow motion. It's a different energy because you are no longer the mind-body connection to the events that created your addictions, your traumas, and all the other situations that you hold on to. That would be letting go, Lisa.
Wow, Jeff, that was awesome. You covered so much in that little bit of time. And when I was having a question, you covered it right there. And you've taught me, like you said, to be able to let go, life becomes so simple. Create your own life, your own reality, and it's peace, and it's that bliss and joy. And it's simple. Life is very simple when you let go. And once you go through the process of letting go of the ego, like you said, and coming into your heart and your intuition and raising your consciousness by the techniques that you shared, life is a flow. And that's what it is. It's waves of an ocean being in that flow content. And it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. And can you touch on where you mentioned sobriety, that also there is emotional sobriety, because sometimes people think of sobriety as addictions, gambling, money, things like that. But there's also, which you did cover, the codependence of the emotions. And that is creating what's happening, the worry and the disappointment and holding on and not letting go. Can you touch on that?
I'd love to. So in the emotional code, we become addicted to a set of feelings. The feelings are emotions, and those emotions, the basic ones are anger, hate, resentment, guilt, shame, abandonment, rejection, overwhelmed feelings, grief, apathy, and pride. The main emotions that we tend to get addicted to are apathy, rejection, abandonment, and angers, the different levels of angers. And then there's also overwhelmed feelings. So it's not uncommon to be addicted to 4 or 5 emotions in the same energy. But as I said, the most common ones are overwhelmed, feeling rejected, feeling resentful, and then apathy. Apathy is the bottom of the energy scale. Apathy is the despondency. Apathy is when you put other people first and you don't get any reward back. You get disappointed because you over-obligate yourself, and then you feel like you've been taken advantage of, not really understanding that you set yourself up to be disappointed. So we become addicted to these, once again, through the events that shape our feelings. So if you're growing up and your parents are financially challenged and you're mowing lawns, you're delivering papers in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and then you give your money up to your parents to support the family, you've just lost your innocence. That should be your money. That should be your money to go to the movie theater. That should be your money to enjoy life. But what that experience teaches you is that it teaches you that you earn money and now you have to give it away. And so if you don't give your money away, then you are guilty. Then you are selfish. So this is how these events shape our feelings. And if you have to take care of an alcoholic parent, if your parents separate, and now you have to become the confidant to your mother. You become your mother's therapist. You become your mother's caretaker. You become your mother's husband. You become her boyfriend. All these other situations, you've lost your innocence. So that's going to set you up of a lifetime of over-obligating, enabling, doing more for others, being overwhelmed, being confused, and not understanding why these people take advantage of you. That is called codependence. So we based on the events that shape our feelings, become addicted to a set of feelings. Now, I grew up pissed off, angry, resentful, disappointed, because I was never good enough. And no matter what I did was never good enough, so I'm not good enough. And so not good enough becomes a way of life. And so disappointment becomes a way of life for me. I never quite get there. It's never quite. So those are some of the situations that I have been addressing over the 33 years of my sobriety. On 7 days a week, I read David Hawkins. I have very short meditations. I exercise 7 days a week. I detox, I cleanse, I drink water, and I chronically let go. I mean, I let go of a person Saturday. It just felt like such a liberated relief. It was in a construction project. I knew something good was going to happen because of it. And someone showed up today and hired me to be their coach. And I know it was all related because of what I let go of, the disappointment, the frustration, the feelings that I felt. And that let go is so liberating. But no matter how much you practice, how good you are, you're going to relapse. But there's a difference between relapsing on alcohol or relapsing on chronically debting than relapsing on being angry. So if you're angry, what you learn to do is accept that anger. You accept it right there. If you're rejected, if you feel rejected, you accept that feeling, and then you start practicing letting go. A longer breath cycle, forgiveness, you practice gratitude. And if it requires making amends, make the amends without an excuse. Apologize without an excuse. And you may not have to apologize to the person, but in the universal law, apologize in the universe for crossing that bridge, understanding that you just relapsed. Do without being critical. Understand that that's the human factor, and that's still the unresolved issues, the repressed feelings, the suppressed feelings that are still prevalent in the neurological network of neurons that wire and fire that form your feelings. But you can actually get so good at this that your relapse can last seconds. You can become so skilled at this that you seldom relapse. You can become so skilled at this that you don't let other people provoke you. You can become so skilled that you're not proving someone wrong, even when they're wrong. You can become so skilled at this that the world can be falling apart and you're not part of it.
Wow. Amazing. That was excellent, Jeff. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And life opens up when you let go, and people do show up, situations, and it's such a blessing. And we do attract the most wonderful people to our lives. And Jeff, you're one of them. So thank you. I'm honored for you to be on this call. Is there anything you want to add before we close and you share your content where they can find you?
Yeah, I want to compliment you. You asked me to do this last week, and we're doing it on Monday. I mean, that was amazing. That is the now habit. I
Yeah.
believe you asked me on Friday, and we're doing it on Monday. So very few people do that. I know this is a big day for you, so I appreciate you taking the day out of your time. If
Thank
you are looking for a mentor, if you are looking for spiritual guidance, I highly endorse Lisa Fay. Lisa is one of the top students I've ever had the privilege of coaching. I have watched Lisa transform. Her son, Zach, is an amazing young man. So are all three of your children. I mean, I know you're very proud of how independent your children are. And I've had the privilege of coaching your son. He is a rock star sales professional already, as a real estate professional at 24 years old. I've been his coach 2 years. So I also make sure that that people know how skilled you are at universal law, spirituality, and also as a business mentor. I highly endorse you. And then for people really looking for that universal guidance, Lisa can unequivocally give that to you in a meditated state where it will be mind-blowing for you. So if Lisa offers readings or offerings, I highly endorse that you take advantage of anything that she offers for you to experience her brilliance. And if you want to find out more about me, my website is goldenmastermind.com. I do offer free 20-minute coaching sessions, one-on-one coaching sessions with me if you've considered hiring a coach. So if you're considering hiring me or want to find out more about how I can assist you, coaching with me is one-on-one. It's not outsourced to anyone else. It's not typing. It's not Skyping. It's not Zoom. It's one-on-one on a telephone call. So if you'd like to find out more, go to Facebook Messenger and message me a message. That's Jeffrey Combs, and let me know you'd like to receive a 20-minute coaching call, and I'll respond to you within 24 to 48 hours. Thank you, Lisa. It's been my privilege and pleasure to be here with you. I know this is a very productive day for you today.
Very, yes. Thank you.
Have a great afternoon, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jeff. Okay, everybody have a great day. Bye.